Welcome back to Fight Weekly, where weekly we break down the upcoming card and analyze the fighters you'll see this weekend. We finally got the middleweight championship matchup, Dricus Du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev, headlining UFC 319. And our co-main event will have England's Lerone Murphy fighting against UFC debutant Aaron Pico. Let's dive in, starting with our main event. We have the middleweight championship bout coming this weekend. The current champ, Dricus.
Who's fighting tonight, Joey?
Who's what?
Who is it?
Du Plessis. Strickland, Dricus, and then you got Bennington against the other tough woman. We got a great fucking card.
Is coming in as a plus 170 underdog as he faces what Vegas thinks is his scariest challenge yet, Khamzat Chimaev, who is the minus 210 favorite. Both of these guys are 31 years old, just reaching their physical prime. And when we look at the height and reach, they're also very similar on paper, but there's been a clip going around where Khamzat looks like he's towering over DDP, so can we really trust these stats? Let's look at their last fights and maybe we'll understand why the odds are set the way they are. Dricus has had 3 fights since 2024 and all of them have been his championship fights. First was his challenger fight against Strickland, where he went to a 5-round split decision victory. The stats don't tell a full story here, as we can see Strickland landed more significant strikes and only gave up 2 minutes of control time to DDP. Fans were split online, some rating the fight for Strickland for his output and some for DDP for his pressure, but 2 judges scored it for DDP and he wins himself the belt here this night. Next, he fights the modern age middleweight GOAT Israel Adesanya. The pressure we got a glimpse of against Strickland was on full display this night. He took Izzy into deep waters with his striking, pressuring forward and gaining almost 4 minutes of control time. That pressure tired Izzy out, and in the 4th round, we get DDP by anything possible to get Izzy down to the ground. Insane grappling pressure to advance the position, and once he gets there, he gets the rear naked choke to cement the victory and cement that the belt is his. And then in his latest fight, he had his rematch with Strickland, as the fans still had questions from the results of the first one. This time around, Du Plessis didn't even let it get close. He clearly had more striking output than Strickland this time and won all 5 rounds on 2 of the judges' scorecards, so for a very dominant victory. And on the other side of the cage this weekend will be Khamzat Chimaev. He's had only 2 fights since 2023, so not much activity from him, unfortunately. Our review starts with his fight against Kamaru Usman, where Usman first went up to middleweight. This was the first time we'd seen Khamzat get beaten down. Though he scored 7 minutes of control time against Usman, Khamzat was gassed and clearly slowing down through the fight, and even though he made it to a decision, we could see him losing some of those later rounds. Nonetheless, Khamzat wins the majority decision here and moves on to his next fight. And his next fight was his last fight, which was against Robert Whittaker. It was classic Khamzat. Instant pressure from the start. He got Whittaker rolling on the ground for over half the first round and gets himself a rear naked choke, but not just any choke. Let's remember how strong this guy is. He was over the chin and decided just to break the chin. And off that win, he earns himself a title shot against Dricus Du Plessis. And this weekend we get to see if Dricus can find another insane way to win, or if Khamzat will manhandle him like he does most of his opponents. Let me know who you think wins this weekend in the comments section below. Now we're in store for a competitive co-main event fight as well. UFC veteran Lerone Murphy is taking a tough challenge against Aaron Pico, who is having his first ever UFC fight. Murphy is much older than Pico, but still not old yet, as he's only 34. He's still in a good age range. Pico is a young 28, and without any UFC experience, he still comes in as the minus 135 slight favorite, compared to Murphy being a plus 115 short underdog. Looking at their size, Murphy has the slight advantage on the reach and height, though it shouldn't matter too much in this fight. Now let's look at Murphy. He's had 3 fights since 2024, and he is a decision monster, as he hasn't finished a fight since 2021. His review starts with his bout against Edson Barbosa, where he beat Barbosa clear as day in a 5-round fight. He almost tripled the significant strike output as Barbosa and got himself 5 minutes of control time for an easy decision victory. His next fight is a 3-rounder against Dan Ige, where Murphy opened as the minus 380 favorite, but he had a tough time in this fight. Based on the stats, the strikes were comparable between the two, but Ige landed almost 5 minutes of control time. Lerone does win the decision here, but only by 1 round, when he was a minus 400 fighter pre-fight. And in his latest bout, he fought Josh Emmett, where Murphy once again was the minus 380 favorite pre-fight. Murphy does do better in the significant strikes differential, looking like he doubled that of Emmett's, but again almost giving up 4 minutes of control time to Emmett, so we can see that he's at a clear disadvantage when he has these fights. Murphy does win a decision here again, but only by 1 round, so again a close fight for an almost minus 400 fighter. And Aaron Pico is taking on the challenge that is Lerone Murphy as his first UFC fight this weekend. Pico has only had one fight in 2024, so the activity has not been there, but he is finishing the fights that he's in for the most part. Just showing you some clips of some of his best knockouts, because it's really not worth looking into his opponents since they're not at UFC level, but it is good to see that he has the power and he has the urgency to finish fights. How will Pico stand compared to Murphy? Does the younger fighter have the fire in him to come in and finish his first UFC fight, or does Murphy have the experience to get the victory and earn himself a closer spot to the title? We find out this weekend. And with that, we wrap up our Fight Weekly review. Thank you for watching the video. Please drop a like and a comment if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe for more content in the future. And let me know any feedback that you have on the videos. If you want more information, more news, or a different change in the graphics, any feedback in the comments below. Thank you for watching again. And as always, let's enjoy the fights.